Have you ever struggled to win an argument or make your point stick? What if your words could influence people effortlessly, at work, in interviews, or even daily conversations? Welcome back to the Duo Dialogues, your podcast to smarter real-world English. In the last episode, we learned how phrasal verbs transform casual speech and boost fluency. Today, we dive into the art of persuasion, learn how to structure your thoughts, appeal to emotions, and speak with clarity and impact. Let's begin.
Okay, so have you ever been in a situation where you really needed to persuade someone in English? Maybe pitching an idea at work or an interview, or even just, trying to get a friend to agree on where to eat. And did you feel like your words didn't quite land?
Yeah, that's a pretty common feeling, I think. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, how to be more persuasive in English. We're going to pull out techniques from the source material you mentioned.
Exactly. Our mission here is to unpack this material, find those practical tips, things that help you build, stronger arguments, connect emotionally, and just sound more confident and, well, convincing when it really matters.
Right. And the source defines persuasive speaking pretty clearly. It's not about manipulation, it's more the skill of using language effectively to influence someone's thoughts, maybe their decisions or their actions. Really essential stuff, both professionally and personally, too.
Okay, so let's get into the core framework. The source calls it the 3 pillars of persuasion. First one up is logic.
Logic. Yeah, that's the bedrock. It means building your argument on, solid ground, using facts, using data, clear reasoning. The source is clear, though. It's not just about listing numbers. It's about showing the logical steps, guiding the listener to your conclusion.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure. Think about asking for a pay raise. Logic here means bringing your performance metrics, right? Showing how your work directly led to, say, better team results, maybe even mentioning market rates for similar roles. You're providing objective reasons, hard to argue with. Like saying, based on the Q3 reports, my projects increased sales by 15%. You're using the internal data.
Right. You build that rational case. Makes sense. But, well, people aren't just logic machines, are they? There's more to it. Which I guess brings us to the second pillar, emotion.
Exactly. The source really highlights this. Logic might get their attention, but it's emotion that often drives the actual action. This means tapping into feelings, maybe shared values, or painting a really clear picture of what could happen.
Storytelling. Empathy.
Precisely. Think about that friend you want to convince to join the gym. Instead of just listing, it's good for your heart. That's logic. You might say something like, hey, remember how exhausted we were after that hike? Imagine having the energy to go twice as far next time, feeling that much stronger.
Okay. You connect it to a shared memory, a desired feeling.
Yes. That makes the whole idea much more emotionally appealing, just as the source suggests.
Okay, so we've got logic, we've got emotion. But there's a but. You could have the best points emotionally resonant story, but if you don't sound convincing...
it falls flat.
Yep. That must be the third pillar then, credibility.
I got it. Credibility, according to the source, is all about how trustworthy and, crucially, how confident you appear. And a lot of that comes down to delivery.
How you say it.
How you say it. Your tone, are you making eye contact, your posture, and using language that's really clear, not vague or wishy-washy. Imagine proposing a big new project. You might have amazing data, a great vision, but if you're hesitating, kind of mumbling, looking down...
it undermines everything.
Totally. But speak clearly. Maintain good eye contact. Use precise words. It signals that you believe it. And that makes others more likely to trust you and your message. The source stresses it's not just seeming confident. It's about clarity reflecting clear thought.
And the source even offers some, specific phrases, doesn't it? Tools you can use.
It does. Things like, imagine a world where...
or, according to research.
Yes, and let me show you why this matters to you.
How do those help? Exactly.
Well, they're like little signposts. Imagine a world where that host emotion paints that picture we talked about, according to research. Boom, instant credibility boost, backing up your logic.
Right.
And that last one, let me show you why this matters to you. That's critical. It directly links your point to the listener's own interests, makes it relevant, increases the impact. The source really emphasizes that connection.
Okay, so bringing this all together, what's the takeaway for someone listening? The source actually has a challenge, right? A practical step.
It does. It suggests trying this out. Write a short, 1-minute persuasive speech on something you genuinely care about.
And the focus.
Focus on weaving in those 3 pillars. Some solid logic, a touch of emotional connection, and delivering it clearly,
Yeah.
confidently, building that credibility.
Practicing it.
Because think about it, if language really does have this power to influence decisions, to shape actions, as the source implies, it kind of makes you pause, doesn't it? It poses a question for all of us. How consciously are we thinking about the power of our words? And how thoughtfully are we choosing to use them?
That's a really powerful thought to end on. Thank you so much for walking us through this material. Really fascinating stuff.
My pleasure. It was great digging into these techniques and seeing how they apply.
So join us next time. We'll be doing another deep dive based on this source material. We're going to tackle mastering formal versus informal English.
That's a good one. Switching styles effectively.
Yes, exactly. Moving from, say, a formal presentation to just a casual chat with colleagues, how to do that smoothly. So definitely stay tuned for that deep dive.